new babe.
So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. So, listen, bro. We all have worked with that person that is just super dangerous, right? They just dangerous. They're a threat to themselves. It's so much to the point where you're like, how is this person still alive? Like, cause you've seen them do things that you know he's about to die. He's about to kill himself. Why is he even attempting that? That ain't safe. That ain't safe. I'm not doing that. Like, if you work on a construction site, you know the people I'm talking about, bro. Just unsafe, man. Just unsafe. I got a bro of mine, bro. He builds houses, man. And every time I see him, I'm just like, bro, I don't know how you still alive. Like, he just does some of the craziest things on his job site, man. He'll have a ladder tied off to wrapped around a tree, wrapped around a car, maybe around a tire in a car, just holding it. Like, you're like, why? He's done put a nail through his hand. He's done put a nail through, I think, his foot, maybe. I can't remember. But he done put a nail through several parts of his body, right? It's always doing something. Always, man, you hear about him. And I'm like, yo, this dude, how is he still alive? How? He's even going to a step, my bad, bro. I ain't gonna say your name, but he shot himself before. You know what I mean? I always tease him about that. We always tease him about that. I think he was at somebody's house one day and he was cleaning his gun, forgot he had one in the chamber, and it went off, boom, shot himself in the leg. Like, we are always in awe and surprised that he is still alive, man. You know what I mean? So anytime he texts me, I'm like, oh, good, you're still alive. You ain't did no craziness yet. And then all of a sudden I receive a picture of how he got his setup at his construction site. And I'm like, this dude, here, how is he alive? All right, so today's video, man, is when construction goes wrong. All right, and I hope y'all out here being safe, bro, because you see a lot of crazy things happen on construction sites. We're gonna check this video out, man. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and run the lights up, man. You know what time it is. Let's go.
Number 10, shear. While working at a construction site in China's Anhui province, a 47-year-old man sustained a brutal injury that could have ended his life. The man, only identified as Shear, lost his footing and fell from a platform. He then landed on a protruding reinforced steel bar. The metal rod pierced his abdomen from left to right and came out the other side. Shear was unable to move and members of the fire service were called on site. They cut the base of the bar and the worker was rushed to the hospital with the 4-foot piece of metal still in his abdomen.
Yeah, they always taught us in EMT school. Now, I don't know if that rang true today, but never remove an impaled object, bro. Never remove an impaled object is what they told us.
This is a standard practice in such situations in order to prevent blood loss and to reduce the risk of secondary injuries. Amazingly, CT scans revealed that Shear hadn't suffered any critical damage to his internal organs. Today's video was requested.
Aren't you supposed to have like a harness attached to something, bro? But then again, you see people, you be like, yo, this ain't safe, man.
By King Gamer 9386. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 9, William Bartram. Pennsylvania construction worker William Bartram accidentally cut off his hand while operating a power saw. By the time he arrived at Bethlehem Hospital, the man also had at least a dozen 1-inch nails protruding from his scalp. It was later determined that Bartram himself had fired the nail gun into his head. According to the police, he was overwhelmed by the pain of losing his hand and had tried to end his ordeal. Fortunately, doctors were able to stabilize his condition, remove the nails, and reattach his limb. Number 8, accident in Manhattan.
You lose your hand and the pain is so much to bear, you just start firing nails from a nail gun towards your head, bro. Who are you? What? Who allowed you to work on a construction site? Fam. I'm in pain. Let me just go on and take myself out, but I'm shooting nail guns and they ain't even doing the job. Like, you ain't even get that right.
In May 2014, a construction company was replacing a ruptured water main in Midtown Manhattan in New York City. In what was described as a freak occurrence, a 3-foot wide saw blade got detached and went flying across the street. The giant blade was reportedly used for cutting through concrete. It traveled about 100 feet at great speed, hit a tree, and then struck a woman on the sidewalk. The incident was captured on nearby surveillance cameras. The woman was taken to the hospital with a deep gash in her leg, but her condition was otherwise stable. A stop order was issued for the construction project until an investigation could determine how the blade had broken loose. Number 7, Patrick Lawler.
So listen, I'm not a construction, like, I don't own a construction company or nothing like that. But I would imagine like the insurance, after hearing some of these stories, has got to be sky high. If I'm an insurance company, I'm like, yo, you want insurance on that business? Yeah. You might as well fork over the cash, buddy. Anything can happen.
For roughly a week, construction worker Patrick Lawler had been complaining to his wife about a severe toothache. He'd tried ice and painkillers, but couldn't ease the pain. Lawler went to the dentist, where an X-ray revealed a 4-inch nail which had plunged into his brain. The man thought that the doctors were joking, and he had no idea how the piece of metal ended up embedded in his skull. It seems that a nail gun backfired on him while he was working in a ski resort town in the Colorado mountains. The power tool fired a nail into a piece of wood nearby. Unbeknownst to Lawler, a second nail had shot through the roof of his mouth, barely missing his right eye. Neurosurgeons successfully removed the object from his brain and commented on how lucky he'd been.
How do you not know? How do you not that fast that it happened at that, and all you just felt was the pain, but you didn't even notice that it happened? Like, how that's on some like Ripley's Believe It or Not right there. It went through the roof of your mouth.
They'd reportedly told Lawler, if you're going to have a nail in the brain, that's the way you want it to be. Before we move on, official They Will Kill You.
Talking about lucky. That is luck. I need some of that luck.
Sanjay Bhai. 21-year-old Sanjay Bhai was doing repair work at a site in Balaghat, central India, when he fell down a well. The construction worker landed head first on an iron rod, which speared through his head. It pierced his skull on the right temporal region of his brain and came out the left frontal region. Bhai was taken to the hospital, where he entered a critical state of hypertension. Doctors gave him blood and operated for an hour and a half to remove the rod from his head. The surgery was performed with caution to avoid causing damage to surrounding tissue. In the end, the metal rod was taken out safely with little bleeding and no complications. His main venous sinus to the brain was preserved by less than an inch. Bhai was expected to make a full recovery, and he was also given treatment to avoid meningitis, a common occurrence with such injuries. Number 5. Sergio Cruz. In 2019, one construction worker was killed and 4 others were injured while working at a construction site at the University of California, San Diego. A 35-foot wall of metal from a future high-rise on the campus had collapsed. The massive steel frame caught worker Sergio Cruz and crushed his head. He was taken to Scripps Memorial Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. It's still unclear what had caused the solid rebar columns to bend over like blades of grass, as one witness put it. The incident took place in 2019, and in the past decade, the company operating the site has been involved in 13 other investigations. Number 4.
Unsafe Work has it, bro. I'm sorry, man. If y'all work in construction, bro, y'all be careful, man. Going out there tomorrow. Some of y'all might be watching this that work in construction. Y'all like, yo, why did he just do this to me? My fault, man. My fault. I knew, but just seeing it now, I'm like, man, y'all be safe out there, bro. Be safe, because in construction, you're relying so much on the other person. Like, the person you work with is so important. You know what I mean? Because it might not necessarily be something that you did to cause you to lose your own life. It could be something they did. They dropped something that on you, or they shoot a nail that goes through your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta depend on the other person. That's scary.
Petra Novotny. Czech woman Petra Novotny was scalped and had pieces of her face peeled off while working with a powerful electric drill. The mother of four had been using the power tool with her hair in a ponytail. At some point, the rotating device caught a few strands of hair and got wrapped around it. The drill then pulled the rest of Novotny's hair and jerked her face forward. As it continued to spin, it peeled back the skin in a straight line from the top of her nose and eyes over to the back of the head. Novotny was basically scalped by the power tool and also had her eyebrows and eyelids ripped off. Her cries alerted the neighbors, and the woman was taken to a hospital in critical condition. Almost half her skull had been left exposed. The mangled remains of her scalp couldn't be reattached, so doctors operated immediately using skin grafts from her arms and legs. The operation took almost 9 hours and was ultimately successful. Novotny would be left with a scar across her face from ear to ear. Had doctors not operated so quickly and effectively, she could have died or been left severely disfigured. Number 3.
All right, ladies, put your hair up. Put it in, what y'all call it, a bun. Put it in a something, you know what I mean? Put a bonnet over it, or a shower cap or something, man. Y'all using these power tools, put this hair up, bro. Whoo! Like, whoo! I feel for her.
3. Guillermo Bartram Escapre. In 2018, Guillermo Bartram Escapre was working on an elevator at a site in Zamboanga City in the Philippines. He was tasked with dismantling the elevator at a mall that was under construction. As he was preparing to do so, the 38-year-old worker didn't notice the counterweight that was hanging above him. He cut the elevator's cable line, and the 1,100-pound weight fell on his body. Escapre was cut in half and died instantly. Number 2. Impaled Worker. A Chinese construction worker miraculously survived after a rebar shot through his backside and into his chest. The incident took place in 2018 and has been described as one of the most horrific construction site accidents in recent years. The unnamed man had fallen 6 feet from a platform and became impaled on the protruding 31-inch metal rod. According to one of the doctors who'd subsequently operated on him, 3/4 of the rebar had plunged into his body through his buttock. The bar stopped inside his chest cavity. While doctors did manage to stabilize the worker's condition, he'd suffered damage to several internal organs, including one of his lungs. Number 1.
Oh, this and back to where one of the people, one of these made me think of something real quick. I used to work at this place called International Paper, right? A lot of y'all may be familiar with it. I used to work at one in Savannah, Georgia. And this guy, he was in there and he had this mechanical hand, and he used to work with us on the safety team. So I know that's crazy, like him being on safety after what I'm about to tell you happened to him. It's just nuts, right? It's nuts. But he what happened to him was these paper mills, they have these big rolls, and on these rolls they have these ropes and different things that help turn them and different things, right? So the rope he was working on, the one he was working by, the rope snapped, and when it snapped, it wrapped around his hand. And when it did, and it locked tight and it pulled his hand clean off. Clean off, he said, bro. He told me the story and everything, and a lot of people that was there, because it happened way before I got there and started working there. And he was like, yeah, man, took his hand completely off. The company ended up buying him one of those like real expensive hands that work. It was just crazy to hear how people say it happened so fast around that. It was insane, man. Like I can not even imagine that happening, bro. And to come back there and work there after that.
Ron Hunt. Ron Hunt was standing on a 6-foot ladder and drilling overhead at a site in Truckee, California. At one point, he pushed the drill too hard and the ladder started wobbling under his feet. As he fell, Hunt tried to follow standard procedure and dropped the power tool that was still in his hand. Unfortunately, he was unable to throw it far away enough and landed face first on an 18-inch long, 1.5-inch thick drill bit. It pierced through his right eye socket and came out the back of his head. Commenting on the accident, Hunt only remembers thinking, "Am I going to die?" Another worker found him skewered on the drill and wrapped a shirt around his head and the drill to stop the bleeding. Hunt was airlifted to a medical center in Reno, Nevada. Miraculously, the drill bit had pushed his brain aside rather than through it, which spared the worker from brain damage, paralysis, or a gruesome death. Instead of cutting the drill bit off, doctors determined that the safer approach was to unscrew it from the man's skull. Hunt ultimately survived the accident but lost an eye and had titanium plates inserted to fix his fractured skull. Thanks for watching.
Woo! Bro. And probably didn't even have nobody holding the ladder. You know, who gets on a ladder who gets on a ladder and has somebody hold it these days? Nobody. We don't. I don't. And I know I'm wrong for it, bro. But seeing videos like this, I'm definitely gonna have somebody healing that ladder from now on, man. It's went through his eye and shifted his brain, which luckily saved his life. Man, y'all out here on these construction sites, bro. We gotta start listing construction sites as one of the dangerous jobs out here, man. Yeah, you don't hardly hear about it. That's why I wanted to do this video, man, just to remind people that that's one of those dangerous jobs, fam, that a lot of people don't talk about. And you see them everywhere on a daily. But man, some of the most gruesome stuff goes down. And you see me making fun of my homeboy, but I would hate to see something happen to him, man. But y'all be safe, bro. Wear your harnesses, wear your hard hats. I know it's uncool. Nobody never wants to wear a hard hat. But bro, they'll save your life. I promise you, man. You know what I mean? Wear your hard hats. Wear your harnesses, man. Have somebody at the end of the ladder holding the ladder for you. And be careful, man. Take your time. A lot of stuff happens because people be rushing. And you get careless, all right? So, that was a crazy video, man. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Tell me about the craziest things you've seen at a construction site or a job go down. Let me know, all right? It's your boy L, man. Until next reaction, I'm gone. Peace, y'all. Stay solid. Hey.